Have you ever been in this frustrating and confusing situation when you're seeing a girl and it seems like everything is going great? There's chemistry, there's consistency, there's a deep connection, and then out of nowhere, it seems like suddenly everything shifts. Her energy drops off, her texts slow down, and she's just not making the same effort that she was before. And you start wondering, did I do something wrong? Is she losing interest in me? And should I say something? This is unfortunately quite a common situation that happens to both men and women. And if you have ever found yourself in this space, getting anxious and overthinking, then this video is for you. Because the way that you respond to this kind of situation can either strengthen and build your connection and attraction, or completely break it. I'm Olivia Chevalier. I'm a love and confidence coach, and I specialize in helping men to overcome overthinking, self-doubt, and limiting self-beliefs so that you can step into your most confident, fulfilled, and connected self. My goal is to give you the tools to understand relational dynamics, communication, building relationships, and stepping into confidence so that you can master your love life, your social life, and your professional life, and become the kind of man that you've always dreamed of being. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, then do be sure to subscribe to this channel and become a part of this community of men who are desiring to grow and change in this area just like you. Anyway, let's get back to the video and start understanding what you can do when she suddenly starts to pull away to repair that dynamic and build attraction instead of breaking it. First off, something that we need to talk about is the fact that not all pullback is a problem. Women can pull away for many different reasons, and not all of those reasons are necessarily bad or something to do with your connection and your dynamic. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's overwhelm, sometimes it's her own stuff surfacing, insecurities, doubts, past relationship patterns, trauma from her childhood. So it's important for you to know going into this that it's not necessarily that you've done something wrong to mess it up. In fact, the way that you handle this moment is what's going to determine if this connection deepens or dissolves. So let's break down what to do step by step without falling into neediness, overthinking, or emotional chaos and reactivity. The first thing that you need to do is reconnect with yourself before reaching out. One of the biggest mistakes that men make when she pulls away, they go straight into reactivity, texting, over-explaining, and chasing. Please, I cannot stress this enough. Do not do that. Slow down, take a few deep belly breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth, and just sit with this for a moment. And ask yourself, am I reacting because I'm afraid of losing her? Is this woman aligned with what I really want? Or am I just chasing connection because I'm afraid of being alone? After asking yourselves these questions, it's time to reflect on this. Sometimes her pulling away is going to hit you harder than it should because it's poking at your own wounds of abandonment, rejection, or a fear of not being good enough. So take a day or some time to ground yourself, connect with your values, your worth, your standards for communication and the way you want to be treated, and your standards of how you want to show up in a relationship or connection. After you've taken this time to center yourself, it's time to respond rather than react. If you're going to reach out and say something and try and make contact to address the pull away, make sure that it's coming from a place of clarity, not emotional reactivity. There's a big difference in saying, why are you being so weird? What's going on? And hey, I've noticed that you've been a bit quiet lately. I just wanted to check in and see where you're at right now. Can you see the difference between these two messages? You're not demanding answers or assuming that you've done something wrong or taking it as a personal attack or abandonment. Instead, you're opening the door and you're giving her the space to step through it and be real with you if that's something that she's willing and ready to do. This is what emotionally intelligent, grounded men do. You don't guilt, you don't beg, and you do not shut down. You reflect back to her what you've been noticing, and you create an invitation for an honest, transparent conversation. The next thing that you've got to do is make sure that you are calling her in and not chasing her. It's very common that men will confuse chasing with making an effort. What chasing looks like is constant over-texting, over-apologizing, and trying to convince her that you are good enough and worthy of her time. That looks like speaking about the dynamic directly and from a place of non-judgmental reflection, holding up a mirror for what you can see with confidence, clarity, and care, and saying something like, This is what I've been noticing. I value real connection, and I'm not here to force anything, but I'm open and here if you want to talk. And this is magnetic because it's showing her that you're not trying to win her back. You're standing strong in your values and who you are, and you are inviting her into that space with you. One of the biggest parts of this process is that you have to be willing to let her go. This is where a lot of guys will struggle. Sometimes she's pulling away because she's avoidant or emotionally unavailable. Sometimes she just has poor communication and doesn't know how to have these difficult conversations with you. And sometimes she just isn't into or ready for the kind of connection that you are offering her. And that is okay. You have to be willing to let her go. Not out of a place of ego, but out of a place of self-respect and knowing your worth and value and what you deserve to be reciprocated to you in a healthy, loving dynamic. The kind of women that you want to build a relationship with, she communicates, she reciprocates, and she can feel and communicate about her emotions without disappearing or shutting down. So letting go in this instance, when you've made the opportunity for you to open communication and she's not reciprocating, this is not a loss, it's a filter. You're not being rejected, you're being redirected back into the kind of connection that you deserve and want to find. Because when this woman is taking space from you, pulling back, and showing you that she's not willing to meet you where you want and deserve to be met, she is showing you very clearly with her actions that she is the kind of person that does not match your standards for the kind of love, relationship, and dynamic that you want and deserve. And finally, something that you have to remember is that women want to be with a man that they respect. A woman can feel when you start spiraling, when you lose your center, your self-confidence, your sense of self-worth, when you move away from the grounded leadership of being a man towards anxious boy energy. And no matter how attracted she was to you, if she senses that you have abandoned your own sense of self-worth just to keep her and win her back, the attraction is going to start to fade anyway. Women want to feel safe in your leadership. They want to know that you can hold the hard moments, not just the fun and easy ones. So even if she's pulling away, stay in your integrity. Be honest, be kind, but don't chase. Do not abandon yourself and your own worth, because the right woman, she will meet you from a place of respect. And if this woman doesn't do that, well, then you've just learned something very important that's going to make it very easy for you to move on and create space in your life for the right kind of woman to come along. The right woman, when you open the door for communication and give her the space to be real with you about what's going on and why she's pulling away, she's going to feel safe in that leadership and she's going to reciprocate and open up to you. She will also want to nurture and rebuild whatever has changed in the dynamic and become closer again. Trust that and know that. It's so important that you know that you do not need to control her response. In fact, it's almost impossible to control her response. All you have any power over is how you choose to respond, and stay rooted and grounded in who you are and the kind of man that you want to be in the way that you show up and communicate in relationship. And from that place, you either get clarity about who you're looking for, or you free yourself for something far, far better and more worthy of your time, investment, and love. If this resonated for you, drop a comment and let me know what part of this hit home. And if you're excited to be working on becoming the kind of man who shows up with integrity, leads with confidence, emotional intelligence, and grounded presence, then hit the subscribe button and become a part of this community of men who want to grow and thrive just like you. Also, if you haven't already watched my video on reciprocity in relationships and how you can spot whether or not you have reciprocity in your relationship, then that is a video that you're going to definitely want to watch after this one. Because if she does choose to come back in, you need to be able to understand and pick up on whether or not she's actually meeting you halfway, or if you're the one who's doing the majority of the heavy lifting and progressing that relationship. So go ahead and check out the video that's on screen now and discover how to recognize what real mutual interest looks like. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.